Guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whoever you are, wherever you are, welcome to Prepper Talk Radio. I'm Scott, and I've got Paris and Shane joining, as usual, to talk about how much of a mess you are.
Right?
Right? We're talking about the garbage of us, of you, of they, of them, of whoever you're with, because in a survival situation, everyone's going to get stinky and disgusting, and hygiene's going to go out the window, and it's going to kill you guys unless you take care of it now. And as a reminder, this episode is brought to you by the good guys over at Prepper Talk Radio. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, get on our YouTube channel, because we're going to do 1,000 follower giveaway here as soon as that happens. But you've also got to be in our Facebook group to be able to take advantage of that. So make sure you're doing both. Find us through the links down below. Join us, party with us, and stay clean, because this episode's all about hygiene.
I don't know how good I am at partying there, Scott. I'm not one of those party guys.
Well, our idea of a party is completely different than everybody else's idea of a party. Like our party is what everyone else is doomsday. We're like calm.
That's party
cool and collected, and we're like, this is nice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. When we get together, we're just like chilling, talking about what we're making plans for. Our party is making plans for the future and plans for being prepared and ready to go.
And people must think we're boring.
Well, I don't think you guys are boring. That's why I love talking to you guys. And one of the funny things is, like, I haven't been doing all the social media as much as I used to. I've been a little slammed, but it's funny because I keep seeing people talking about doomsday. And I'm like, guys, calm down. Oh, September 24th is doomsday. By the time you guys listen to this, it'll be past September 24th. You'll know if I'm full of crap or if they were all right. But I believe, like, there you go. No such thing as doomsday. I believe there is the doomsday, and let me explain why I believe there is one. And it's for the wicked.
Yes.
Right?
That's basically what this book says, is if you're prepared, there's no such thing as doomsday, right?
Right. But it's like, for those out there that are like part of the devil's kingdom and are super stoked about like ruining life for everyone else, your day is going to be the terrible day of judgment, right? For everyone that's following Christ, it's going to be the great day, right? When he comes again.
And you want to be clean when that happens.
Yes. Not just spiritually, but physically also. So this episode,
You're late. Hey, but at least I'm clean, right?
Right.
Here we go.
So today, let's get clean. Let's get down and dirty in the business of clean.
Well, you know, the scriptures talk about the wicked when there'll be weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. I can't imagine that's a clean environment where you're weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. Like that just reeks to me of stench and greasy hair and teeth that, I mean, gnashing of teeth is one thing, but it's like, you probably didn't brush your teeth. Your breath probably stinks.
Well,
there's just a lot of things.
You don't have toothpaste set aside. You can't be brushing. I mean, you're brushing your teeth with dirt or with baking soda. A lot of things you can brush your teeth with, right?
I mean, if we're going to go biblical, talk about the 7 women clinging unto one man episode in Isaiah chapter, whatever. I think it's chapter 21 or 2 or 3 or 24,
Chapter
maybe.
4.
Is it chapter 4?
Yeah, I think it's 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Yeah, that's right. But it talks about the stench. Like in that day, they want to join the house of Christ so they can remove their stench. All right, they need the hygiene, both spiritually and physically. And I think one of the most like mistake hygiene things that a lot of people make is they get all this toilet paper and they don't have anything soap wise. They don't have anything disinfectant wise. They don't have any like long-term, because bleach doesn't store long-term. They don't have anything for long-term disinfecting. And so what I wanted to start with really is the magic, the beauty, dare I say it, the necessity of vinegar. Everybody needs to learn how to make vinegar.
I bought 2 gallons yesterday.
Perfect. White distilled?
White distilled, sitting.
Fantastic cleaner. There's actually cleaning products that are primarily made of vinegar. The reason I like vinegar is it's got a super long shelf life. You're at least 3 years before you have to worry about it. if it's white distilled vinegar. If you keep it in a cool place, you can get a lot more time out of it. But it's going to do better than Clorox or anything else. It's also natural. You can make it yourself with your fruit scraps and food scraps. Your not all food scraps, obviously, but primarily your fruit scraps. And it's a fermentation process. It's not that hard to make vinegar. And then you can also do wine vinegars, and you can also, which has an even longer shelf life because it's alcohol. But the reason vinegar lasts so long is because it's acidic. You mix a little bit of that with a little bit of baking soda, and you have a nice cool volcano effect, or you can use that to clean out hard to clean stuff, like your disposal if you get power back up and running and everything else is stinking real bad, right? But you can use it for scrubbing, for cleaning. There's so many wonderful aspects of it. But like, you look at my home store, I've got 13 cases of long-term detergent for cleaning laundry. But I've also got a book with recipes on how to make others. Each one of those cases is going to last me 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, what
So
we use for our daily disinfectant is a vinegar salt solution, and then it's electrolyzed for a few minutes, and it doesn't smell so strong like vinegar itself, because wiping just everything down with vinegar is not the most appeasing thing, right?
Smell.
Especially when you've been using your commercial, detergents and such that smell nice, But vinegar, it doesn't smell. But you add salt to it, you put it through electrolysis, and it knocks that down. And I really like the smell of that. I'll have to find the recipe for that and post it somewhere.
Yeah, and then how to electrolyze it.
Well, basically, you do that like you do colloidal silver or it's not colloidal at that point. It's electrolyzed silver. I forget what it's called, but it's how you make your silver solution. Do it the same way.
Nice.
That's pretty sweet. Like nanized.
Yeah, but you don't make it in a small part. It's just making an electronic solution type, breaking it down electronically, not actually breaking down particles. But I'll stop talking there. So I'm not sounding very smart right now because I'm not prepared.
Just enough to just say what you've said and no
exactly,
more.
and then shut up.
Nice.
And then I'll
hey guys, there's this really cool
for
thing
you guys.
I don't know enough about, but it's cool. So
I know how to do it. I just don't know how to say it right at the moment.
Well, I'll post the recipe that I've got for making your own vinegar
Cool.
in our Facebook group, and we'll link that below. So you guys, if you're listening to this, there's a link in the comments. You can get to our Facebook group. In the Facebook group, you'll see that post.
And I do have on my Prepared Guy blog, I do have that article written there, so you can go there. I'll go look for that now.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny how many solutions there are. But we get so used to just going to the store that we've forgotten or never learned how to do other things. I remember my grandma, bless her heart, she passed away a few years ago. She always made stuff, her own cleaners, her own detergents. And she'd buy ivory soap and she'd make that part of her detergent for her laundry. And so all of her laundry had that same smell. And
Nice.
Oh my gosh, every time I smell that, I think of grandma.
Just remember.
But she used this combination of that. She'd shave that down and put flakes in with her detergent, and there's borax and something else that she would kind of mix up these different things, and it was fantastic. But it had no additional weird things you had to worry about. Like now it's like everybody has these weird packets that they got to throw in with their laundry, and they're chemicals, and they're not safe. You got to keep them away from kids and all this other stuff. And you're like, dude.
Yeah. So for sanitation as well, colloidal, ionic silver. That's the word I was looking for, is ionic silver. I've got on my blog, preparedguy.com, just go search colloidal silver generator. I built one that's been almost, I guess, about over 10 years, almost 10 years now that I put this up here.
Wow.
So that worked. Colloidal silver will kill viruses, bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
There's studies on that. I don't have any of that posted here, just kind of a how-to build your own generator. And you can use this also to create that salt vinegar solution as well.
Yeah.
That same device.
the same device.
I lost you in your audio. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for this loss of audio.
Here we go. When I bump my mic, it automatically goes mute on the software for some reason. If I bump this, so I apologize.
Welcome back.
So anyway, go to my blog. You can find that, and I need to post a little more information about creating this salt vinegar solution.
Yeah,
That's
because
awesome.
So I will do
silver
that.
binds to the bacteria and
Mhm.
takes it and cleans it out and gets rid of it. So
Mhm.
neutralizes it. And so that's a really good thing to. Now that you say that, that makes sense.
It's a fantastic purifier. Like it's antibacterial.
Mhm.
Antimicrobial.
Being the pioneer stock that we are, nothing near as amazing as our forefathers. But well, for me, just me. I'm not going to say anything for you guys. However, that as it may, like Brigham Young, when the pioneers came to Utah, was a big fan of everybody putting a silver coin, a silver dollar, in your water barrel. Do you guys know why that was?
Helps keep the water fresh.
Keeps
Yep.
the bacteria.
Kills bacteria,
At
keeps
bay.
the water fresh. He also recommended you throw it in your barrels of milk.
Interesting.
That's
Then
also
you
one of the reasons why silverware used to actually be made of silver and not just stainless steel.
Yeah,
Isn't that amazing?
another reason to buy silver and stock and to stack it. I know that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
I think silver's on discount right now too, right? Isn't it?
well, it's much lower than it has been, but it's a little higher than it was. So it's still at the low end. So I would say, pick some up if you can.
Yeah, it's just the premiums are on the high side.
Oh, wow.
They're actually
Yeah.
record high premiums right now, even though silver price has gone down a little bit. But it's still looking good, still holding up well, especially you got the dollar going up, and still silver and gold are still pretty much just still hanging out there instead of dropping down like you might expect with when the dollar goes up in value compared to other currencies. So
That's just crazy.
Getting
Crazy.
back to hygiene, a couple things that I have in my kit, even in my 72-hour kit, my 96-hour, my bug out bag, if you will. I have an extra toothbrush and some toothpaste that's in there, and I have those. A lot of times we want to, to conserve water. It's a good idea to have those body wipes, and they're wipes that you can wipe down to kind of clean. With a wipe you can just clean a specific area on your body that you don't need to clean your whole body all the time, but there's our specific areas that are prone to,
Extra stinkiness.
Yes, there we go. And so with a body wipe, you can clear those out, and it's like a shower with one wipe. So you get a package or two of those and stick it in your storage, and I think that's be a great idea. A fun thing I did too is as I was looking for these like washing machines that you can get, like the ones where you pedal them, or the manual washing machines. I didn't get one of those, but I got one of those big silver buckets, like the back in the day with don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, one of those. And then I got one of those plunger things, and it's specifically designed for laundry to agitate the water, agitate the clothing. And so you just pour the water in, pour whatever soap we have, and then I can just manually agitate the water with that stick. It's got this little plunger looking thing. It's not actually a plunger, but it looks like one, and it helps to wash your clothes. I thought that was pretty cool, and I have that in my little storage area.
Perfect. Yeah, I think we've got 3 or 4 of those. The beauty of those, if you haven't have you used it yet?
No.
So the old school way to do laundry is to use a scrubbing banjo.
So is that one of those? Is that one of those things where you scrub up and down?
Washboard, yeah.
Washboard, yeah. I got one of those too. I do have one of those too.
Oh, nice.
But I think that's something that you do in addition or along with that plunger thing, right?
Well, for me, I when I was on my mission in South America, that's how we washed our clothes. We in a wash basin.
Oh,
so you'd have just a big sink, and it was a built-in concrete wash basin. Let everything soak, and then just scrub it on the wash basin, scrub it together. That's how we would do it, and then just rinse it and hang it out to dry.
Wow,
had to do that a good majority of my mission, so it was
and they're
good experience.
They're pretty cheap. You can get them for like $20. And the portable clothes like agitator, the plunger looking one, for lack of a better term, those are like, I want to say $40. Let me pull them up. Yeah, Amazon's saying those are $39, and you can get the galvanized steel version of the washboards for about 19 to 20 bucks on Amazon as well as Walmart. So like have one of those, at least one of those solutions. Because the agitator is designed to agitate the water, and you can kind of agitate the clothes a little bit. And it works okay. We've used ours. But I will say that a washboard, even though it's a lot more labor intensive, get your clothes cleaner.
Really?
And it's because it pushes the soap and the water through your clothes.
You're scrubbing a little differently.
You're pushing more water through.
Yeah.
And your clothes get clean the more water's pushed through them. That's why you've got these big motors on your washing machines that's push such force to force the water through really hard. That's what gets the stuff clean. That and whatever detergent you're using.
And of course, we're talking about methods to stay clean ourselves, to clean our clothes, to clean our homes, if there's a power outage or when there's power outage, if it might be temporary or extended or whatever. So these are just some things I wouldn't say put in practice, but we've set aside. We've got these preps to, if this ever were to happen, we couldn't use the washing machine or the dryer. So do you guys have a bunch of clothespins? You got string and all that set aside as well?
I do have string set aside. We have clothespins. I think we need more.
I need to get some of those clothespins.
But we need to run the strings in the house as well. Wouldn't be hard for me to hang them, a nail, and it's up. But we've got there's retractable ones you can get, but those only give you about 10 feet of space to hang stuff, but it's like 3 lines over a 10-foot space, which is better than nothing. And they're retractable. And a lot of people will put those in their laundry closet and just stretch it across above your stuff. I remember as a kid, we were drying clothes outside in the winter in southern Idaho. Even when it's cold, they'll still dry. Things will still dry. It takes longer. But the nice thing is it's this crisp, fresh, clean clothes. It's not the same as like taking everything out of the dryer and laying in it and falling asleep at night because it's just the most comfortable, nice lavendery scented stuff. But it's better than nothing. And you're using solar power to dry your stuff, right? You're using your environment to dry your stuff. Some places that are super humid, things take forever to dry. So it's easier to do it in your home than it would be outside. But I still, living in Florida for the years I did, I still saw people hanging their laundry outside. And I was like, wow, that's impressive.
In that humidity, huh?
Yeah. When I lived there from 92 to 94 to 96. And they had that too there. They had, people putting stuff out.
Yep.
It's quite popular.
So having the line, I mean, you can use paracord and you can use other things, but laundry line, it doesn't hold water. It's just like a vinyl line. And so it's better because it won't hold water. And if your paracord's holding water, it's going to keep your stuff wet longer.
Oh, nice.
So get the vinyl actual laundry line.
I'm looking at Amazon right here and it says jute rope.
Jute rope. Okay.
JUTE rope is what they are recommending to go along with your clothespins.
And I think the main reason is why it's not dyed. So if you were to hang something white over a line and it hangs there and moves back and forth, it might transfer the color of the string onto your clothing. So you want something that's undyed or white nylon, something like that that's not colored. It's not going to transfer color over.
My grandma just had galvanized steel wiring across her backyard.
Oh yeah.
And we would, as we got bigger, we forgot about those and we'd run into them at times, and that was never fun. But that's how she pretty much always dried her clothes. I don't remember her using her dryer more than once or twice the whole time I knew her. She always took it outside, hung it all up. We'd have to help, and those were bonding moments. Like the funny thing about the apocalypse, the doomsday situations, the power going out, you're going to have more time to bond as a family, putting your clothes out, taking your clothes in, doing
laundry together. Yeah.
Right. But you need to practice those things now. Like get extra hydrogen peroxide, especially food grade hydrogen peroxide, get extra, distilled white vinegar, get extra toothpaste, get extra soap. Soap is super cheap. you can buy tons of bars of soap, and bars of soap last a really long time. They store indefinitely. Like I've got bars of soap that are probably 10, 15 years old that I'm still using because they were such a killer sale when I got them, but I'm tired of the smell. And so I'm like, I need something different, but I still use them because that's what I have most of.
And of course, looking beyond that is learning how to make your own soap as well, right? And I haven't tried making it yet, but there's a lot of different ways that you can make soap. I think it really would come down to being able to source everything naturally, rather than just go buy. A lot of the you can actually sign up for soap making courses. There's a lot of soap making courses online and such, but that's kind of commercially available products, right? That you go buy those supplies rather than, okay, you've got your steer, you kill that, you keep the fat, you render it off. You use create your lye from the ash, the hardwood oak ash that you've burnt, and then you have to create the lye of that, and then boil it and distill it, and then create your soap. It's quite a process. So definitely don't take soap for granted that way. Like you say, you could stock up bars. They've gotten a lot more expensive lately, just stocking up cheap bars of dial soap, whatever, for those emergency purposes. But when it comes down to learning how, that one, like we were talking previous episode, is it's our skills, it's our knowledge that has the most value. Just think, if you can provide soap for your community when nobody else knows how to make it, and everybody's run out of soap, man, you're going to be the man or the woman.
And you barter that away.
Soap.
You trade it away. You don't just give it away. Like we have extra washing agitators so that we can trade some away if we need to.
Nice.
Like I have extra stuff. A lot of the extra stuff I have is so that I can trade it away. Not just to give away, to trade it away. If someone comes to my house and asks for food and I've got extra, yes, I'd like to feed them. But if I can, I'm going to trade them first. If they have absolutely nothing, then I'll try to feed them.
Yeah, put them to work.
Otherwise, I'm going to try to trade them. And even if they have nothing, and I'll put them to work.
Yeah.
Something we've talked about a lot lately is something that's extremely critical with hygiene, and it's water storage, right? I mean, if you don't have water, you can't do any of this stuff.
Yeah.
My girls, they do like to get the waterless shampoo. I don't know if you've seen that.
The spray.
Go camping or something. Yeah, it's a spray, and so they'll use that on occasion when we're camping or such. So that would be a nice prep to have for a kind of an easy way to wash up, rather than heat up water or whatever. How you're going to decide that you're going to bathe when the power is out. That's another thing we can talk about as well. And I've got some pretty good ideas that I've been working on for showering with hot water after the water heater doesn't work, or we don't have natural gas or whatever. So I've got some pretty good ideas that way.
Is that like that solar water container that heats in the sun? And then
that's one of them. Have a solar shower, a backpacking solar shower. They're cheap. Just jump on Amazon and put that in your preps. But also one thing I've built is, you've seen the weed sprayers, right? Pressurized weed sprayer. It's a pump. You pump it. You buy a metal one, and you adapt the end of the sprayer to a shower head, and you can put your water in there and heat that directly over a fire, and then take that into your bathroom or wherever you're showering off, and shower off directly with that.
There you go.
It makes it nice and easy. And then stand in like a kiddie pool or your tub, so you can reuse that water for flushing the toilet or whatever.
For the next person.
That's brilliant.
Or the next person.
That's brilliant.
They will.
And then you just let that secondary water use for your garden.
Yeah, don't let it go to waste. Or save it to flush your toilet or for your garden or whatever.
What's funny is, like, I did the same thing with a plastic one and made it into a bidet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's true.
I took the little wand and I got it. I warmed it up and curved it more, so I can just clean it off.
And we've hooked up bidets to all our toilets, so
that saves a ton on toilet paper.
I haven't put it into use myself. I'm still stuck on the toilet paper at the moment, but I did hook up the hot water yesterday, so now I can.
You have a warm wash.
Yeah, now I have warm wash instead of freezing cold water.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say last name.
I think another.
You remember Shane, do you remember the Jason with the big house on the hill? Or Jay?
Oh yeah. Jay up on the hill. Yep.
He always carries a portable bidet. Were you
Spray
there
bottle,
when you
spray
shared that?
bottle. No, I didn't see that one.
So he, like, in person, I was talking to him one time, and it's a portable bidet, and it's about this big, and it's pressurized. It's got batteries at the bottom, and you put a little water in it and warms it up as it's shooting out on you. He's like, I can't go to the bathroom anywhere without having this. So it's in his backpack. I'm like, what?
Well,
He goes,
you
my
got
butt's so soft.
if you think
the
about
toilet paper hurts.
and like you were
Wow.
talking before, Scott, is have plenty of stool softener on hand for your emergencies, and as well as anti-diarrheal.
Yep.
Right, because who knows? When you get sick, or you're eating a different type of food, going to the bathroom may not be as fun. It might be as enjoyable. It'll be harder to clean up. It's and as you get older, you got to worry about other things as well, like what's the word I want to say here is
Constipation.
Well, no,
Incontinence.
Yes. That's all part of it, but as well as hemorrhoids, right?
Okay.
So, that's all everything that you got to plan for. I guess depending on your age, but who knows? But if you can have some of these niceties, man, it can make it so much easier on you in a stressful situation to.
Yeah. Speaking of going to the bathroom,
take care of this in particular.
Speaking of going to the bathroom, I think there's a great, thing you could do with those 5-gallon buckets, and you could put a trash bag in there, and you could put like you can either get a seat. They have the seats that you can make, the pre-made seats that you can put on those 5-gallon buckets.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't want to do those, you get one of those swimming noodles, and you can put it around there, make it a little softer for yourself. And you can sit right on that. And you can use the restroom, and then that bag, you just pick it up, wrap it up, tie it off, and you go take it and take care of it. And, one of the things that I think is important to remember is that when you are creating, let's say that you are down, power's out, it's been out for a while, and you've got to now make the water's not flowing, and you've got to make these hygiene decisions about where to dispose of your waste. You want to be far away from your house. You want to be, you don't want to be super close, like right there. You want to be, I don't know how many feet or how many yards you should be away, but definitely, I remember the rule of thumb is next to water sources, you want to be at least 100 feet away from a water source so that you don't contaminate the water source. But even if you're not next to a water source, you want it to keep it out in the yard further away than, your house. And you probably want to bury it a couple feet deep so that you have that, you don't have to worry about it, stinking up the area once things come back to normal.
And that's awfully hard to do when you have a townhome or a condo or just a small yard, right?
So growing up, my grandma, same grandma that I pretty much always talk about, they had a toilet seat in the house that they'd run out all winter long every time they needed to go to the bathroom to sit on, because the outhouse was so cold. Southern Idaho, freezing temperatures, but it was 100 feet away from the house. So you can imagine a little kid in the middle of winter. Oh, I gotta go! It's the middle of the night, grabbing that, putting it in their coat, running out, trying to hold it against them to keep it warm in their little boots, waddling out through the snow in their nightgowns, in their night dresses, whatever, getting out there, setting it in place, and hurrying and sitting on it before the cold gets to it, so that they don't freeze to the decking.
So the solution that I have for that is we have a small porta potty that we've taken camping. So our plan is to use that in the house and then have a place to dispose of it outside of the house when it's full, like an outhouse, just a hole.
Is it like a composting one, or is it just
No, it's not a composting. It's just a simple portable one. But yeah, composting one, that's on my list here as well. Composting, for like a cabin, or they typically can't handle a lot of volume like at our house with 6 people. But in an emergency, that would be a really good option. But they are quite expensive. Porta potties themselves are pretty cheap. Painless to stick in your storage room and pull it out for camping and when you need it. You just carry it outside.
Have you seen those incinerator toilets?
I have not. Those got to be expensive.
Yeah, they've got to be. But you could save 2,000 gallons of water a year by incinerating your poo, your waste. They're not cheap.
$6 grand, $2 grand, $1,500.
I learned about these just the other day, and I was like, "What?" It's actually pretty cool because like it's generally stays pretty warm to sit on, but they're like $2,300.
Wow.
There are ones that are like $2,600, but basically, let me see if I can find the video on how it works. But basically, you do your duty, you push this little thing, and it's got these two flaps that drop the duty, and then once it closes, the fire hits it.
So then you got to get out of the way quickly, right?
Right, just keep your butt hairs out of the way because those things are going to get singed.
But I see one here that's a biogas toilet, where it will harvest the gas, and you could that's flammable, and you can use that, store it, and use it for cooking or whatever. Kind of gross, but.
Another important thing to remember on this issue is, especially if you've got a family with kids and little girls and boys, is to have some kind of privacy shield that you can have around your toilet if you're doing it outside. And they have those pop up. It's a poop up pod or whatever it's called, but it's a thing that you can cover that 5-gallon toilet or whatever the porta potty is to keep things private for privacy's sake for people too. So that's something I think that would be.
So we've got two of those. One that's just a little toss open one. It's a big circle. You just throw it open and it stands up. You just stake in the corners. That's for the bathroom. We also have another one that actually is more rigid, that has extending telescoping poles that you can set up for the shower. It's strong enough to hold a shower inside of it. And both of them have no floors. So you can even put it over an open pit, right? So there's benefits of having those, right? And there's also benefits of having wood and other scraps around the house so you can actually build stuff, longer term solutions if we face like a 6-month or longer scenario without power, which I think is very easily doable. Right? Those things when we do have the power, go bye, and you can't listen to our beautiful podcast anymore. Like, you're gonna have to figure out, okay, how do I do this stuff now?
So for me, that leads me to the next question is, we're just finishing remodeling our bathroom, and so for a while we had a toilet but no sink. So if you're going outside and you have a porta potty and you don't have a sink there, how are you going to wash your hands? That's an important part of sanitation, is just keeping your hands clean, whether you're preparing food or whatever, touching things throughout the house the entire day and getting other people sick, right? So one thing that I know you and I have talked about before, Scott, is creating a sanitizing type solution. And we've talked about calcium hypochlorite before, pool shock, which is basically granulized chlorine. You can make your own chlorine solution and have your own hand sanitizing solution out by your bathroom into your kitchen, so where you can quickly and easily sanitize your hands. Or you can use baby wipes too. I mean, that's another way as well. Probably not as good as this method, but But
how do you be careful with some of the hand sanitizers? The commercial hand sanitizers
they're hard.
They're a little more advertising than they are actual effectuating. So just be careful and get some quality stuff if you're going to have something that's going to be commercial that's been created. So, but it's definitely, you're right. That's a huge thing, because the last thing you need is to come out of the outhouse and you're rubbing your eyes, or you're doing something with your face and you got pink eye, or you got some other issue, you got strep throat or some other thing, and now you've got to deal with a disease. And if you do have that problem, hopefully you've got a Jase case on hand that you can take care of your antibiotics if you do get that, which is a part of after. If you don't have good hygiene, you'll need to have things to clean it up with. But you definitely need to have something. I have in my storage, I have a lot of soap, hand sanitizer stuff, shampoos, and speaking of shampoos, I think that isn't vinegar and baking soda a way to wash your hair, even if you don't have like an official shampoo. I think I remember hearing something about how vinegar is also a good way to wash your hair. And I don't know who came up with this, but I just remember reading a story about why we brush our teeth every day. And that's actually a relatively new phenomenon in terms of the history of humankind. It's actually only been around for maybe 100 years. And so what did people do before that? They didn't do it as often. And so maybe we don't need to shower. And in fact, there's evidence to show that if you let the oils on your body kind of last a little longer, that you can have more supple skin. You can have hair that's a little bit more manageable as long as you're brushing it and keeping it, brushed regularly. So maybe washing our hair and washing our body on too regular of a basis is something that's more of a habit.
Well, it's
than it is
absolutely
actual
true
necessity.
that it does kill good bacteria on your skin as well. I think it's a cause for a lot of acne as well. Having residue on your skin instead of and then using too much many lotions and creams and all those types of things. The lotions and creams.
Well, it's funny because
And,
like the whole beauty industry is like, you got to use all this stuff, and it's like all poison, and then you got to remove it with another type of poison, and then you got to use all the stuff to rehydrate and fix your skin so that you can repeat everything again the next day. Kill it, heal it, kill it, heal it, kill it, heal it. Like, what?
There's been a lot of things going around over the years where I only wash my hair once a month, right? I never wash my jeans. I just stick them in the freezer, right? Because they want a certain look to their jeans. So I think you're absolutely right. We don't have, other than maybe keeping your hands clean and sanitized, right? We don't have to be so obsessive about being squeaky clean and getting the oil off our face and having perfectly clean hair. And maybe it's okay to stink a little bit too, because it keeps the bugs away, right?
That's a good point.
Never worked for me. When I go camping, I'm like the number one person of choice for all the bugs. I don't know what it is about me, but I have noticed, like, as I've tried to change my diet, like my personal brand of stink is changing. It doesn't get as bad as fast. When I was eating more processed foods all the time, I think I needed to shower more often. As I started eating more nutritious, I don't feel like I'm like, I don't stink like I normally do. Or when I sweat, it's totally better smell. I'm like, oh, sweet, this isn't so bad.
Yeah, and here's another aspect that you reminded me of is that if you are well prepared and everybody else around you is stinky and dirty and you're nice and clean and you smell good, they're gonna wonder, he's got stuff. He's got some soap. Because he's look how clean. Look how his teeth are all nice and clean, and his hair is. There's something to be said about being a little messy and dirty,
blending in
for your operational security, right? So maybe we're making a little bit too much of this sanitation thing, right?
Plus,
but I think the big thing is like going back to keeping things sanitized that need to stay sanitized. Like whenever you're handling meat and things like that, after you're done, you've got to clean the station. You've got to either use, vinegar or a bleach solution. Same thing with like your bathrooms. Deep clean those things every once in a while. You're going to have to, right? And then there's just your basic soaps and things to keep clean and your toothbrush and toothpaste. Like I've probably got 15 tubes of toothpaste in this bin right over here. And I probably got another 20 to 30 in the other bin, that's the kids stuff. And it's like, I need to start restocking some of those, but I'm like, yeah, it's not expensive to just cover the bases. Right.
Yeah, and definitely keeping your house clean is going to be, I know in my house, we don't clean it for a week and it starts to build up and gets dirty very quickly, with 6 of us there. And I imagine more will pile in. As the kids need to come home or something for an emergency. But hopefully with that many people, we can all share the load and try and keep the place clean and just have the essentials you need, like you say, at least for vinegar to help sanitize and keep the place clean. And I think that really helps a lot of morale as well, right? To have clean clothes and have a clean home when things are crappy outside.
Well, I was just going to mention that. I think that's a great point, and that's probably a really good point to end on. But the psychology of being clean and staying clean is going to help. There's one of the biggest problems most people have in survival situations is their mental toughness. And when you feel clean, you feel good, you're going to do good, you're going to be good. It's easier to kind of be that, especially if it's something that's more akin to what you're normally, or what's normal for you, or what you're accustomed to. The more grimy you are, and as opposed to what you were normally used to, probably the worse you're going to feel, that you're just going to give up easier. You're just not going to have that. So I totally agree that morale and that psychological benefit of having and being and staying clean is going to go a long way, and it's going to really help.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the show. As a reminder, make sure you're following us on YouTube and you're in our Facebook group, because we're giving away a $250 valued Jase case. It's all the antibiotics that you should have on hand, so that if you can't get to a doctor, you can at least have the medicine you need. If you have ideas on other things that we need to make sure we're covering, or if you have, even if you have like a link to another video that explains hygiene in a better way, or recipes, be sure to post that in the comments below so that everyone else can learn from each other. That's the benefit of this podcast. It's here to help everybody get better. And if you want to help support the show, man, click the links on our website, preppertalkradio.com, and buy the products that we recommend. One of those, Jase Medical. It's one of our favorites. Use the code PrepperTalk. You'll get to save $10 on it when you order your case. And they go through a medical professional system to get you the right antibiotics. I have different antibiotics than some of the other people because I have allergies to certain ones.
Mm-hmm.
So it's specific to you. Check it out. Make sure you're following us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you join our Facebook group, Emergency Prep and Self-Reliance. And of course, follow us on all of our socials. We love interacting with you guys. We get so many good comments and content from you guys that we can then share with the rest of the audience. So until next time, stay ready, be ready, and focus on being ready-minded all the time.